What's happening? So I had an awesome conversation today with a good friend of mine, and we talked about the idea of, on one hand, coming out of college and doing something that you don't really enjoy that much but make decent money in, versus making the choice to pursue a career which you truly love but maybe you're not making as much money in. And I think it's a really interesting question. Something you can certainly have a lot of conversation around, and every person is going to have their own opinion of what somebody should do. And I'm not going to give my opinion here because I think the conversation deserves discussion, not just a flat out, well, here's the truth, it's black and white, because I don't think it is black and white. I think it's certainly, there's gray area and there are pros and cons to everything, and I think it just is dependent from one person to the next. What are you most interested in? You know, the time you spend at work, if you love it to death, but maybe you don't necessarily have the finances to do the things outside of work that you want to do, the traveling, the vacations, certain things that you want to have, certain things you'd like to give to people, but you truly love what you do and you're passionate about that and you get the most fulfillment out of your life from that time that you spend working your job. Or on the other side of the coin, maybe you hate it, or maybe you just don't like it that much, but you make good money and you can then go out and do the traveling and do the extracurricular things that you'd like to do that take, you know, some finances and extra financial support in your family to be able to do that. So it's an interesting discussion, and certainly I have my thoughts, and I like to think there's a way to have your cake and eat it too. I think part of the discussion is, you know, if you're doing something you really love and not necessarily making the financial income that you really want, is there a way to have a side hustle, as we millennials like to call it, or at least that's what I call it, I'm a millennial, so side hustle, and make extra money on the side by doing something else that you enjoy or a hobby and find a way to monetize that. So I think there are plenty of ways to go around the conversation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other, but it is an interesting thought. So and definitely discussion worthy. I don't know if you have comments. I'm sure you have thoughts, but if you're willing to leave comments and feedback and give your perspective, I certainly would love to hear from you. I think that's probably something I'll bring up in another video or blog post or conversation, because I think it's certainly worthy of discussion from one person to the next, especially if it's on your mind and it really weighing you down and being a stressor in your life. So I'd encourage you to reach out to me and give me your thoughts and feedback, and would be happy to discuss with you if you do want to have further conversation around it. Certainly I'm not going to have the specific best key to success answer for you around that, but shoot, I'm willing to discuss it and have a conversation and ask you questions and really dig into what you like, what you don't like, what you really want, what you maybe aren't as interested in life and in work. So, you know, I'm kind of a neutral third party when it comes to that. Obviously neutral in the sense of I want to find the truth for you or help you find the truth, but not neutral in the sense that at the end of the day, I want you, whoever you are, that might reach out to me, to be happy and totally fulfilled. You know, here's another interesting point. Didn't mean to bring this up, but it came to my mind. Being an economics major, you know, you always talk about, I shouldn't say always, but one of the things you talk about is utility. And how do you optimize utility? And there certainly is a formula. Every single person has his or her own utility function. And there are many different things that go into it. It looks different from one person to the next. Everyone's unique. And it's about how do you optimize that by, you know, we've got constraints of time in our lives, and how do you optimize to be able to reach your fullest utility in life, and just being as happy and fulfilled as possible. There are a lot of different ways to get there, and gosh, that's an interesting conversation. I go on and on and on, but I'm going to cut it right here because I'm going a little long-winded on it. Really fascinating. Give me your feedback. Would love to hear it. And last thing I had to say, shoo! Live united, baby. Yeah. Have fun. Be awesome. Wish me luck in basketball. Threes. Here we come. Dr. Three. Yeah. Dropping threes all day, baby.